I just wanted to let you know we're not asking for $740,000. The students here have done an exceptional job all year. We wanted you to see what the 4 years in the program is like and what can come out of that. They are now the model program for the RIC. They are using their project, their report, which you have in front of you, as the model for next year's project. And they also participated, with the exception of Anish, in a program from Long Island STEM Hub this past Monday, where some of them are going to be the first people to form the Alumni Association for Career Academies on Long Island. So I'm sure you'll hear from them again. They've all agreed to come back and mentor our younger students, and we thank you for tonight, and congratulations to them.
Obviously, that is enormously impressive. These are just extraordinary students. They're not the only ones. We have lots of extraordinary students, but these certainly are just outstanding. And I think a couple of things that jumped out at me, the fact, and I was going to mention it as well, that this project has set a standard. This is now the standard, the baseline for going forward on this kind of projects for students from schools all over Long Island. And the other thing that jumped out at me too is the fact that there was such collaboration among all of the career academies. So they really looked at this project as not something that exists in a silo, but that in fact incorporates many, many different skills and many different perspectives. So going forward, that's the way of the world, and that is what's being emphasized now everywhere, is collaboration, working on projects, the ability to have groups of people join together and brainstorm for this kind of project. So I'm enormously impressed, and I think all of us here are. You did a wonderful, wonderful job, and you really made us proud. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, and thank you very much to the members of the Board of Education for allowing us to take some time out of your meeting to see this presentation. I know the students appreciate it. The next tradition of our June meeting is to take some time to honor the retirees, the people that have either retired during the year or will be retiring in what seems like just a couple of short weeks away. One of the reasons this is a very fine June tradition is it's really very nice to see it kind of juxtapose the retirees with the people getting tenure. And it's also a nice opportunity for the people who have received tenure to hear some of the remarks and some of the reflections of the people that are retiring, and to kind of transmit some of that culture from the people that are leaving to the people that represent kind of the new people in the district, and help make sure that some of that important culture continues with the future. So at this point in time, Ms. O'Hagan is going to lead us through the recognition of the retirees.
Some of our retirees actually ended their service in Baldwin earlier in the year, so some of them will not be with us this evening. In those cases, I'll just read their citations, and we certainly congratulate them, but the ones that are present, we will have them come up to the podium. Our first retiree that I'm going to speak about is Richard Miskevich. Richard has had a 27-year career at Baldwin High School as a business teacher, supervisor of the library, supervisor of business career and technology department, dean of students, and assistant principal. And he has been dedicated to the Baldwin School District and this community, proudly supporting the students, parents, and faculty. And whereas Mr. Miskevich's passion for teaching and learning helped shape the lives of countless students and teachers, and he was motivated to inspire learning and to help all students and teachers achieve their goals. And whereas Rich connected with his department, supervisory and administrative colleagues on many levels, and was committed to education and to preparing students for the successful transition from school to careers. And whereas his engaging personality encouraged collaboration and teamwork, and he will be fondly remembered as one of Baldwin's dedicated instructional leaders, the Board of Education and District Administration deeply appreciate all of his contributions and years of service, and wish him a healthy retirement filled with family, friends, and new adventures. And now I would like to call up Baldwin High School Principal Susan Norris to speak about another retiree.
Mr. Zeno, would you join me, please? I'm here tonight to speak about Mr. William Zeno and to wish him well in his retirement. That is not an easy task. It will be difficult to explain all that Bill means to me, the high school, and the Baldwin community. He's a friend, a colleague, and much, much more. I don't know if you realize, but when I first came to Baldwin, Bill and I shared an office as the only two dean of students for the entire school, and learned a great deal about each other. The dean of students wears many hats. The only way to describe the dean's office would be one of spontaneous combustion. The dean has to switch gears at a moment's notice and balance an array of spontaneous solutions each day. To explain everything the dean has to do in one speech would be literally impossible. Thankfully, Bill is a master multitasker. He always managed to do incredible feats to support the students and teachers, to maintain a safe and orderly environment, to open broken lockers, to provide tissues, and supportive shoulder squeezes. Those of you that know Bill, he's really good at those, right? He's great at breaking up those little fights that happen, helping students to mend bridges on their own, and to run the equivalent of a marathon each and every day while responding to thousands of radio calls around the building and campus. He managed to find time to always help parents, listen and assist teachers with all types of mischievous students, observe and evaluate teachers, address stacks of referrals, get students out of the cafeteria and into class, attend countless meetings and hearings, and most importantly, to put a smile on the faces of all the students and staff members he encounters each day. Bill knows how to handle challenging situations. He's an expert mediator. He is able to calm a heated situation and get people to shake hands and move forward. His warm and genuine personality makes him the most popular administrator amongst the students. They love his special attention, his humorous remarks, and his wonderful sense of humor. He always starts any description of any student with, he or she is a really great kid, as he always sees the best in every kid when others may be at wit's end with them. Bill likes being out and about and talking to everyone and checking on things. One minute he's there, the next minute he's on the way to the other side of the building. The halls will not be the same without the kids yelling their greetings to Mr. Zeno as he is, quote, en route. Hey, Z, what's up, Zeno? Zeno, I need a pass. Zeno, can you talk to that teacher? Zeno, I need to talk to you. Zeno, when can I come and see you? We'll miss those comments in the halls. Recently, I wrote this speech a while ago, but had to make a major change in my speech because recently our school newspaper, and I will say amazing newspaper, the Golden Wave, did a feature article on Mr. Zeno. I don't know that I've ever remembered a feature article on a retiree, so I felt compelled, really, to address it. Please allow me to quote some of this article written by Mr. Jason Reed, titled, "So Long, Mr. Zeno." This is from the students' hearts. When informed of the beloved dean's retirement, a group of students replied with disappointed sighs and statements such as, "Really? Wow, he's our favorite administrator." Every day, students turn to the Dean Zeno for assistance and advice, even if he's not their dean. Mr. Zeno has created a name for himself amongst the student body, and everything
the young attendees of Baldwin High School have to say about him is positive. It is apparent that many students at this school have a story about how Dean Zeno helped them during their years at Baldwin. And each of them thank him every day for his contributions. Baldwin's saying goodbye to one of its true heroes will be hard, and next year's freshmen will have to go throughout their high school careers without the guidance of this man. Mr. Zeno can never be replaced. Recently, there have been many odes to Mr. Zeno, bagels for Mr. Zeno, pizza for Mr. Zeno, and tears for Mr. Zeno. Clearly, he's a legend in our community. To say he has left his mark really isn't enough. He has made quite an impression and will always be fondly remembered. Bill, we wish you a healthy and happy retirement filled with many new and exciting adventures and well-deserved quality time with your family and friends. Congratulations.
Before I read this set piece, I have to say that I've known Mr. Zeno a very long time. My children were students here when he was the dean, and all the kids love him. He said everything, and they know they can rely on him and depend on him. And as Susan pointed out, he always sees the best. But one of the things I don't know that she dwelt on was how many parents depend on him and have relied on him. I have two wonderful children, but they weren't always perfect. And I did have opportunity as a parent to interact with Mr. Zeno. And I am very appreciative of the kindness, understanding, and thoughtfulness that he showed to me, and my guess is to hundreds and hundreds of other parents throughout his career. So I do want to point out that not only is he beloved by the kids, but I think there are a lot of parents who feel the same way as well. William Zeno has had a 34-year career at Baldwin High School as a special education teacher, head of security, and dean of students, dedicating himself to the Baldwin School District and community and proudly supporting the students, parents, and faculty. And whereas, with Mr. Zeno's passion for teaching, learning, guiding students, and upholding the code of conduct, he was motivated to inspire and help all students and teachers achieve their goals, so much so that his leadership is legendary and respected by all. And whereas Bill connected with students, parents, teachers, coaches, custodians, security aides, directors, supervisors, and administrators on so many levels, and his commitment to students and parents was acknowledged by the countless students who came back to see him and speak so fondly of him. And whereas Bill's quirky and animated personality and wonderfully unique sense of humor encouraged laughter, collaboration, and teamwork, and he will be fondly remembered as one of Baldwin's most famous and celebrated administrators, touching the hearts of countless students, parents, and staff members. The Board of Education and District Administration deeply appreciate all of his contributions and years of service and wish him a healthy retirement filled with family, friends, and new adventures.
I just want to say this is a great community under the leadership of Mr. Scannell, the rest of the district administrators, the present board and the past board members. I have been afforded a great living, and it's helped my family tremendously. So as much as everybody has said that I have given here, I did get in return probably threefold. So thank you very much to the board, the fellow administrators and faculty, but also to the greater community. Thank you very much.
Lorraine Gagerson has been a teacher and science department supervisor at Baldwin Middle School since 1997 and has taught in the district since 1987. And she has been seen as an educational leader of her department, and whereas she has taught elementary and 7th and 8th grade science, as well as coached tennis and soccer, participated in the science cyclical committees that have occurred over the years, and led science articulation meetings to ensure students received a cohesive science education, and whereas she spearheaded the science symposium at the middle school and ensured that the science department received professional development and training on the most current trends in education, bringing so much knowledge and dedication to her science classes to give her students a true understanding of the world around them. The Board of Education and District Administration thank her for her years of dedicated service and wish her an enjoyable retirement with her family. Kevin Scott has been a dean in the Baldwin School District since 1999, both at Baldwin High School and Baldwin Middle School. And whereas he found joy in supervising the technology department and made lasting relationships with many of his colleagues, staying in communication with parents and making a name for himself as a dedicated educator in the Baldwin community, and whereas he had a wonderful rapport with many of his students, the students on his caseload, always present for the youth center and attending many of the students' after-school events. The Board of Education and District Administration thank him for his years of dedicated service and wish him an enjoyable retirement with his family. Now I would like to call up our newly tenured principal of the middle school, Tim Marr.
Thank you. Good evening. Right next to me is Ms. Sobel, who is retiring this evening. I'm so glad she could join me. And before I get started with Ms. Sobel, I did want to also add, since I see the unbelievable Mr. Zeno there, he's a wonderful mentor to new administrators as well. He helped me out many a time. Advice, a shoulder, a good man, a solid, honest, keep it real kind of guy. And we're going to miss you. Thank you, Mr. Zeno. Next to me is one of the rays of sunshine at Baldwin Middle School. I'm honored to join with her and celebrate her career. Ms. Sobel began her career teaching bilingual education in a junior high. It was Junior High 198 in Queens. She taught for 14 and a half years at John Bowne High School in Queens, teaching ESL and Spanish. In 1999, Ms. Sobel wanted to be closer to home, so she accepted a position here at Baldwin Middle School, teaching Spanish. The following year, our 6th grade wing was completed, and Ms. Sobel moved into teaching our 6th grade flex program, where she has provided exposure to 4 different languages, Spanish, French, Italian, of course Latin, to our students. Ms. Sobel has been involved in a number of different school activities over the years, and those activities will be detailed in Ms. O'Hagan's comments. Ms. Sobel has had 2 full-time jobs, one as a teacher and one as a mom. She is extremely proud of being a mom and of being a teacher. I had the privilege of sitting with Ms. Sobel one-on-one recently to prepare for this presentation, and it was so beautiful and touching to hear how she spoke of her love for her 2 children and for all the children that have been blessed to have her as a teacher. Not wanting her kids to feel left out, she decided to coach their basketball teams in a local league as they were growing up. By the way, I would have loved to have seen that. I'm sure she was quite a coach. She loves spending time with her 95-year-old mother. Now, she wants to find out what she can do for herself. She loves being a grandmother of 6 with her husband. She just joined a gym, which she is enjoying tremendously. She wants to learn canasta. She plays mahjong with her, which she loves, with her friends. She is not sure where her road is going to take her. She plans to join a couple of book clubs, and she would love to travel more with her husband. But of course, she has him still working, so we're not sure how much time they'll have to do that. She was hoping to still come back occasionally to do some subbing, and we would love that, but she did make it clear that that will be done on her terms, which we accept. She also can't wait to deal with the 3 boxes of pictures that she recently found of her daughter and her son, which she is excited to organize into photo albums. She loves kids, and she also loves dogs. Her kids this year are, in her words, just beyond beyond, and they make her feel so loved and special. I took time with her colleague, Miss Marutis, and asked her about her terrific coworker, and she said, "Miss Sobel has been a pleasure to work with. She taught us all the importance of nurturing in education, and the students just seem to gravitate towards her. Whenever I'm standing in the hallway, the kids just go over to her, and we can all learn from her. She is a great team player, always sharing her ideas with members of the department. She has such a friendly smile. She brightens up your day with her smile." And it is true. You just saw it. On a personal note, I can vouch for what Ms. Marutis has shared with me. Ms. Sobel has a wonderful, warm, friendly smile that has brightened many a day for both young people and adults alike at the middle school. As we've been working on the master schedule for next year, one of our greatest challenges has been trying to figure out who can possibly take Ms. Sobel's 6th grade classes, as she has handled them for us beautifully since their inception. Ms. Sobel and our 6th graders have been a perfect match. She offers our students the perfect blend of nurturing and challenging, and they embrace her warm and loving teaching style. Godspeed, Ms. Sobel. May you enjoy the coming years of relaxation, travel, and family time with the occasional competitive canasta game sprinkled in. Congratulations.
I just want to say, I know you're here to honor all the retirees tonight, but I really want to thank you for letting me teach in this district and just, you know, having the wonderful kids that I've had and just sharing all my knowledge with the kids and just, you know, enjoying everything. So thank you so much. It's been so rewarding. I've learned a lot about myself, learned a lot about life. It's just been a wonderful ride, and thank you so much. I'm looking at one of my former students.
Don't go away. Deborah, come back. Deborah Sobel has been a foreign language teacher at Baldwin Middle School since 1999, and whereas she has taught 7th and 8th grade Spanish, in addition to the Flex course, participating in curriculum writing for Latin and the Flex course, and teaching herself French and Italian, and whereas she brings so much passion to her Flex classes, giving students a wonderful taste of each language, wearing a French beret or Spanish sombrero to help stimulate enthusiasm, and whereas she has participated in the annual Multicultural Festival, Blue and Gold, Ping Pong Tournament, Baldwin Community Thanksgiving Dinner, Sunshine Club, and 8th grade awards, as well as attended student basketball games and dances, and whereas she has valuable relationships with her mentees that extend past middle school, the Board of Education and District Administration thank her for 15 years of dedicated service and wish her an enjoyable retirement with her family. Raymond Andreessen has provided 13 years of service as a member of the Facilities Department of the Baldwin School District. And whereas he worked to the highest standards in providing a clean and safe environment for the students and staff at Baldwin Middle School, and whereas Ray is an all-around nice guy who always had a smile for you and who you could count on to help out in any situation, and whereas he will be missed by his friends and colleagues, the Board of Education and District Administration thank him for his outstanding service and wish him and his family a healthy and happy retirement. Now I'd like to call up Mr. Randazzo, please.
Thank you, Mrs. O'Hagan. Before I begin, I just want to make sure that, Mr. Z, you are retiring. So everything in high school is going with you. Is that right? I would like to speak about Everett Williams from the middle school. Everett, would you come up and join me? Bear with me, I'm a little nervous. I've been doing this a couple of years, but not for someone that's been here this long. On Valentine's Day in 1977, Everett Williams began his career at Bolton Schools. On Valentine's Day in 1977, I was 4 years old. Everett has served, I just want everybody to know. Everett Williams has served over 37 years in the Baldwin Public Schools at the middle school as an outstanding employee. Everett has witnessed generations of students passing through its halls, including myself in 1985. Just throwing it out there. Just kidding. Everett continuously dedicated his hard work to give the students, parents, and staff of the middle school a safe and clean environment. This was all accomplished through very, very hard work and pride. And when I say hard work, I mean hard work. I know this because I worked with Everett for 2 years, early in my career, and I will never forget those long, hard years. See you smiling, everyone. At that time, I was going to college at night and working in the day in the middle school with Everett. I looked forward to going to college at night to get a rest. While everyone in the district was cleaning 4 classrooms with a crew of 4 guys, Everett and I were doing 8 a day, just him and I. That's right. Yeah. I do remember that. I have a little story about Everett that I would like to share. When we were working those hard summer days, the director of facilities came down to the middle school while we were working, of course, and said, "I've been calling you guys for days and weeks. Where have you been?" And I'm thinking to myself, thank God somebody found us. But Everett turned to the director, like he always does with that face, and said, "I cannot sit by the phone and work at the same time." The director looked at Everett, agreed with a nod, didn't say a word, and left. And all I could think of was, well, now no one's going to see us till September. Everett quickly turned and looked at me and said, "We just wasted 5 minutes. Back to work." So like I said, very hard work. As difficult as those hard days were, I learned valuable lessons from Everett, and that was to take pride in your work and strive to be the best you can be, whatever you do. You did make me feel like that. Okay. I lost my place, excuse me. You said something very important words that I do remember, and it stuck with me till this day. You said, what we do here is for the students, and we must make a good impression on them when they come in September, so they can come into a nice, clean, safe school so they feel comfortable to do their work. Everett, I stand here today with the success that I have because of those words. I think of them on a daily basis, so I personally thank you. Everett, we could always count on your humor, your knowledge, and most of all, your friendship. There is not enough time to explain to everyone here the happiness and differences you have made in all the lives you have touched here in Bolton Schools. I am honored to thank you today and congratulate you on the successful career here at Bolton. Everett, you will be deeply missed, and I wish you and your family the best in your retirement. Thank you, Everett Williams.
Everett Williams has provided 37 years of service as a member of the Facilities Department of the Baldwin School District. And whereas he worked to the highest standards in providing a clean and safe environment and well-maintained facility for the students, staff, and residents of our community. And whereas Everett proved to be a dedicated and hardworking staff member in the Facilities Department. And whereas the entire Baldwin Middle School will miss him and congratulate him on an outstanding career and his contribution to the students, the Board of Education and District Administration thank and commend him for his years of dedicated service and wish him a joyful and fulfilling retirement, enjoying his time with his family and his grandchildren. Susan Correnti has worked for the district for 26 years, having served as a classroom teacher at Meadow, Steele, and Schubert schools, as well as a special assistant to the superintendent of schools and assistant to the principal, working on a number of curriculum projects and organizing extracurricular activities and assemblies. And whereas she was responsible for the program for the academically gifted since 1995, providing her students with an enriched academic experience, utilizing critical thinking and research as well as creative investigations. And whereas Sue is commended for her love of writing, sense of humor, respect and compassion for students, and ability to incorporate a variety of teaching and learning strategies into her lessons, the Board of Education and District Administration wish her a joyful and rewarding retirement, enjoying the sunshine from her new home in Florida. And now I'd like to call up Mrs. May.
Good evening, members of the board. Once again, congratulations to the talented professionals that are receiving tenure this evening, and of course to the amazing retirees that we're celebrating, and to these remarkable children, or students, young adults. One of them, I believe, was actually a kindergartner in Mrs. Wolchuk's class, possibly. Yes, yes. I have the pleasure this evening. Oh, no. The basic, everything you needed to learn happened in kindergarten. That's what they say. I have the pleasure of recognizing Mrs. Julia Wolchuk for her dedication, creativity, instructional leadership, and professionalism as a kindergarten teacher at Meadow School since 1984. I won't share how old I was. As I began to write this evening's remarks, I decided to peruse Mrs. Wolchuk's professional portfolio. I came across her tenure folder, which was completed by Mr. Thomas Hodge, Meadow School's former building principal from 1987 to 1999. He predicted that Mrs. Wolchuk's future in Baldwin would be long, enriching, and highly professional. Having had the opportunity to work with her these last 2 years at Meadow, I would strongly agree with his prediction. I also learned more about her history with the Baldwin schools, which goes back to her days as a student at Schubert School, when Mr. Hodge was her classroom teacher. Mrs. Wolchuk is a fine example of the Baldwin brand, as Ms. Riggins always says. When Mrs. Wolchuk started her career at Meadow School, one of the many requirements for being a kindergarten teacher was to be able to play the piano. Unfortunately, that is no longer a requirement, but this has not stopped her from playing the piano in her classroom on a daily basis. A few weeks ago, we celebrated her at our K-3 spring concert, and it just showed through the songs that the children sang. We even had a student council president that happened to be in her class share her experience being in her classroom and saying how she helped her come out of her shell. She transformed her rug area every day so that she could share a special song with her. And I'm sure that's just one of many stories from a child and the hundreds of children that have had the opportunity to be in her classroom. These days, kindergartners are expected to be able to problem solve, describe and share measurable attributes, and participate in collaborative conversations. Mrs. Wolchuk has found the way to infuse, yes, that's what, they're doing that. Mrs. Wolchuk has found a way to infuse excitement into her lessons, but maintain the nurturing environment that is also needed to help our youngest scholars meet the new expectations for learning. Her belief is that every classroom should be filled with laughter, and she achieves that on a daily basis. Mrs. Wolchuk's ability to multitask is one of her many talents as well. On any given day, you can find her tying shoelaces, consoling a student that misses her mommy or daddy, setting up a math center, conducting a reading lesson from the rug, or planning the annual gingerbread man hunt. I can certainly say that I will miss the sound of children racing down the hallway, searching eagerly to catch the gingerbread man. Never me. In any situation, she always remains calm and shares a warm smile. Her ability to multitask extends beyond the classroom. She has devoted time to numerous building level and district committees. As a member of Meadow's site-based committee, she has planned and organized numerous events that have helped to increase parental involvement and student achievement. Her cheerful personality, compassion, and interpersonal skills make her a pleasure to work with. Mrs. Walchuk and her husband, one of my former teachers and Meadows resident photographer, just celebrated their 33rd wedding anniversary and plan on traveling, enjoying plenty of family time together, and many date nights at Touch of Italy. They already booked their first post-retirement trip to Alaska, and they will be also spending time with their two beautiful children, Brian and Kristen. I'm thrilled that I got to spend my first 2 years at Meadow with you. You've been an inspiration, and I thank you for your guidance and constant support. On behalf of the Meadow family, we thank you for your years of service. We love you. We will miss you, but we wish you many years of health, happiness, and enjoyable retirement with your husband and children.
It took me so long to get a job in Baldwin. I left for 3 years to go to college and came back, and it was just a waiting game and a waiting game and, you know, being excess and all that, but it was so worth the wait. It has been an amazing experience and ride in Baldwin, and I wouldn't have changed it or moved to another district for anything. So thank you for all the memories you've given me as well.
Julia Walchuk has been a kindergarten teacher since 1979, serving the faculty, staff, parents, and students at Harbor, Lenox, Milburn, and Meadow schools for over 30 years with kindness, enthusiasm, patience, and respect. And whereas she has diligently fulfilled her responsibilities in a competent and creative manner, attending over 30 kindergarten orientations in which she shared helpful information for parents, and she has been honored with PTA Life membership as well as by her students in the annual recognition of excellence, going above and beyond to create a positive learning environment for the over 800 kindergartners who have entered her classroom. And whereas Julia played an instrumental role as a member of the full-day kindergarten study, mathematics textbook selection committee, site-based committee, and a BTA representative maintaining a high standard of professionalism, the Board of Education and District Administration thank her for her years of dedicated service and wish her many years of health, happiness, and an enjoyable retirement with her husband Bob and her children Brian and Kristen. I'd like to call up Mrs. Lori Presti.
Connie first? So, yeah. All I can say is you picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille. APPR, Common Core, all that other good stuff. Thank you so much. And speaking of age, my retirees now leave me the oldest standing member of the faculty at Steele School, so thank you yet again, Connie and Sue. I used to be the youngest a long, long time ago. I remember first meeting you, Sue, coming into Steele School 7 years ago, and you were a veteran teacher at that point in time. Balanced literacy was in the forefront. You were nervous at that point, taking on something new, not being your area of expertise, as you told me. And what I've witnessed during the past 7 years, a teacher who has been dedicated and relentless and tireless and spent countless hours with every new initiative, leaving no stone unturned, making sure that you've met the needs of your students. And for that, I applaud you, because not everyone would have done that. You shared your passion, your knowledge, your insight, your friendship, and your leadership with your students, your colleagues, and your administration. Countless hours we spent together in my office. I went to you as an assistant principal more often than not to guide me, share your wisdom, everything you knew about the building and our faculty. You are a master teacher, and I have witnessed the wonders that happen in your classroom daily, the challenges that you have placed before your students, and how many of them have risen to meet your expectations, because they may know that while you may be tough, yet fair, and that's the important part, it's because you hold such high standards, care so deeply, and want them to be the very best they can. I know students I've put in your class just for that reason and the changes that you've made. I know the lives and paths you have changed and the impact that you have made. I admire you and respect you and will miss you greatly, but as promised, I will see you in Saratoga with your APPR score and we'll share. Thank you so much for everything.
I'd just like to thank the Baldwin community for the honor and privilege of teaching your children for 27 years. It really has fulfilled me as a person. I've got some deep roots in Baldwin. My husband graduated from Baldwin High School. My 3 children went through Baldwin High School and graduated. And like I say, I've been here for 27 years, so it'll be different next year. But thank you very much.
Susan Finley has served the Baldwin School District for 27 years as a 5th grade teacher at Steele School, creating a learning environment that fostered students' independence, set high standards for all learners, and offered a rigorous curriculum. And whereas she has served as a representative for the Baldwin Teacher Association, working hard to establish clear lines of communication between the union and administration, and consistently demonstrating her ability to be an effective mediator, able to hear all voices and concerns, and whereas Sue is thoughtful and reflective and makes decisions based on what is best for the district with the utmost skill, dedication, and integrity, and whereas she has been an active member of the Baldwin community as well as the proud parent of 3 Baldwin High School graduates, the Board of Education and District Administration acknowledge and commend her for her devotion to the students of Baldwin and wish her a joyful and rewarding retirement, working in her organic garden, snowshoeing and skiing, and relaxing by the fire with her husband Fred and 4 grandchildren, whose little heads will be covered with her hand-knitted hats.
Miss Constance Salwin, please. I think everybody in Baldwin knows Connie in one way or other, correct? She's been everywhere and done just about everything. Connie, my Jill of all trades. There is nothing that you haven't done or been asked to do in Baldwin. Although you are pushed and pulled in a million directions on a daily and sometimes hourly basis, everything you've been asked to do, you have accepted gracefully and done to perfection. I have no idea how I'm going to know where anything is, who needs coverage, or what books are overdue in the library. No one will ever be as willing as you to drop everything at a moment's notice to come to the rescue of everyone and anyone at Steele. Connie, you have my respect and admiration. Steele just won't be quite the same without you. Thank you for everything.
I just want to say also I have deep roots in Baldwin. My 2 children graduated, and people who started with me are here right now. And I have been working in many, many buildings. I had the honor of working with many, many wonderful children in this town, and I really appreciate it, as well as the wonderful staff that I've been exposed to over these years. And thank you so much, and thank you to the board.
Connie Salwin has served the Baldwin School District for 25 years, being considered Baldwin's most valuable utility player as a building substitute in several elementary schools, single-handedly completing more maternity leaves than any other staff member, and proudly receiving tenure as a teaching assistant. And whereas there has never been a job too big or too small for Connie, serving the Steele School admirably, with no one quite sure how the building will function without her persistence, patience, and organization. And whereas she has provided this service to the district with the utmost sincerity, dedication, and integrity, and whereas she has been an active member of the Baldwin community, as well as the proud parent of 2 Baldwin High School graduates, the Board of Education and District Administration acknowledge and commend her for her devotion to the students of Baldwin and wish her a joyful and rewarding retirement with her family, friends, and church, who will all be the benefactors of her newly found free time. Congratulations. I would like to say that we are going to take a break now. We invite all of you to join us for refreshments across the hall in cafeteria A, and we will resume our meeting at about 25 minutes of 10.